Ashes to ashes.
Hello, and welcome to episode number 11 of Till Death Do Us Part, the podcast.
That's the number. It's 11.
Number 11, where we explore everything related to death, funerals, and the stories that connect us all. I'm your host, Mike Hamlar from Virginia. What's going on, peoples?
What up, though?
What's
We
up?
made it out the chat.
There it is. We made it out the chat. So, for all those that have tuned in already, I got some homework for you. Then we're going to get right into it. So I want everybody to pick up your phone, or if you're on your phone, make sure you share this on your social media. Yes. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going on my phone, and I'm going to say they're live. We are live. That's what you're going to tell them.
We are live.
Somebody go ahead and share this. It's on Till Death Do Us Part.
Somebody tell your neighbor. Oh, yes.
Neighbor,
sure.
Out there.
Neighbor, we are live.
It is live.
We are live. We're going to go ahead and share that real quick. All right. There we go. We're going to get those numbers up. So we're live on Facebook and YouTube. All right, cool. That's what's up.
Stories.
All right, mother, what you got? We're going to go around and introduce ourselves real quick. The mother, Charmaine Brown, up at the top. What you got in the middle square?
That's it. Hey, for later. That's it. Hey, y'all.
Crazy. All right, Mr. Reid, Warren Reid, the baby.
I am so happy to be here with you all tonight. I am so very happy that Mike keeps up with our episode numbers because I have no idea at this point. I am here. It's allergy season. The kids are in camp. They driving me bonkers. I'm just grateful to be here on tonight to talk with you all.
Damn, he used the word bonkers.
Keep hope alive, brother. It's going to be all right.
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. All right, Tiffanie the princess, what you got for us today?
She all bright.
Right. Smiling big.
This what happens with us yellow people.
Yes.
You have a yellow background, which then causes me to drown out to the yellow background. It's a light skin thing.
And I'm glad she said
it. Because we didn't told you that already.
Yeah.
We didn't told you that already. Blended in.
I have these lights in my office that are just like right down on me. I don't get my ring light. I don't get my ring light privileges tonight. I've lost those tonight. I'm at work. But hey, everybody!
Hey!
What up, though?
Tiffany, like she just got out of a Herbal Essence commercial.
Herbal. Which fragrance, Warren? Which fragrance?
Peaches.
Oh
my hair's dry.
Peaches.
This is good hair products. You know,
wow.
Tune in. If you want to know more about my hair care products, tune in. I'll tell you. Hit me up. I'll let you know.
That sounds like a sponsorship coming.
Not for free. Not for free. Not for free.
We go get it. All right, we got Adrian down at the bottom. The man, let's go, dude. What's happening?
What's up,
in Texas?
Hey, man, listen, it's hot. It is hot. It is hot. I done took my button down off. Listen, y'all. Welcome, episode number 11.
Your shirt.
Yeah, you see my chest. I make my chest jump. You see my chest jump? You check your chest. Listen, y'all. This is episode 11. Till Death Do Us Part podcast, man. We are rolling this thing and we are excited week by week. Y'all share. Let's go.
Yep, that's what he put on there. Share. We missing one tonight. He'll be on in a little while. The deacon, Wendal.
Deacon is being a deacon.
Yeah, the deacon is being a deacon. He's at church. So
in Alabama.
He's out in Mobile, I believe. So he'll catch on. He'll get on a little while
with all them Baptist people.
Yeah. Hey, good evening,
Kathy. Miss Barksdale.
Everybody.
Good evening.
Miss Barksdale, your husband look like he got a pimp suit on. I saw that purple suit.
Hey.
Jonathan. What's up, sir?
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share with all your folks. All right, that's what's up.
Jonathan looked like that dude out the episode of Jamie Foxx when they thought the man was a serial killer.
You don't mean
Jonathan is the casket. He's the casket rep. He's the
You know what
casket.
I'm saying? See?
I know I had seen him before.
Yeah, we
man.
seen him before.
Yeah, we
I
done
know
seen
I had
Jonathan.
seen him before.
All right,
Jonathan's a good
Jonathan.
guy.
He's
All
on
right.
there.
And shout out
all
to
right,
our
we're gonna move right
moderator,
into
the
it.
man Mike Hamlar,
Hi, Miss
all the way from
Gwen.
Roanoke.
Yeah, what's going on?
Roanoke.
Roanoke, Virginia. Vaughn
Hey,
VA in the
Gwen.
house.
Farmville
Hey,
in the
Miss
house.
Gwen. Hello to you. Hello. All right,
All right.
remember,
Let's get into
we gave you homework in the beginning. Again, get your phone. If you're on your phone, go on and share this. Tell everybody we're live on Facebook. We're on YouTube, but we're trying to share, get that there, and Instagram. So we're on all of those. Make sure you share that, okay? All right, up there, the deacon. The deacon made it. What's up, Wendal?
Praise the
Yes,
Lord.
sir.
Late, but
You look like he in the lobby.
I
What's up? What's up, tight shirt?
you talking to who?
Don't. Don't.
Oh, okay, all right.
No flags. We're gonna try not to throw no flags tonight.
Man,
No flags
don't even entertain it tonight. We're not even entertaining it today because we're gonna throw flags all over the place. All right, cool. So we got Wendal. When do you want to go ahead and give a quick? We just went through introductions, went around the horn real quick.
I'm just glad to be here. Hello, everybody. Good. Yeah.
Let the people know where you're at, Reverend.
Well, I'm in Montgomery, Alabama, just for a few days, and heading back to Virginia for getting ready.
He's
fading
Yeah,
out.
he's in the lobby, so he's getting ready for a state convention.
He's on the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Oh, let's get into it.
Well, before we get into that, so tonight's show is Till Death Do Us Part, the podcast, Recession Proof, the true cost of the funeral. That's what we're going to get into. But, before we get there, we got a couple things we got to do. We got to hit those current events and mother's moments. So now we're going to do current events.
Things that make you go,
right.
Do we have any current events tonight?
No, not that.
Not earth shaking.
It's been a quiet week. It's been a quiet death care week.
Yeah.
It's a quiet death care week. But our president decided to do a Stax Mobile and make his own phone company overnight.
Did he?
He decided he wanted to have his own phones and release them to the people.
I can't.
Listen. So
Adrian was at the parade at his birthday party.
I was not at the parade. I was not there. However, it was about 30-some thousand people. I heard it was, and they said it was non-violent. It was very peaceful. So that's a good thing. But the people said we're not celebrating his birthday this year.
No.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hey,
But
Vanessa,
also in current event now, so we're dealing with a big thing down here as relates to the funeral industry side. So Texas has a new commissioner, and he is he's a renegade. He's a renegade.
Miss Val's your fan.
Hey, Miss Val. How are you,
renegade.
Beautiful? I'm gonna send you an autograph picture, girl. I'm gonna have one side of my shirt open.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Anyway, my brother just put a. What's up, Byron? He said, "Good evening, everyone. We're live in the conversation is fire."
So one of the current events that we're dealing with down here in the state of Texas, as it relates to the funeral industry side, is our Texas licensing commissioner. He's a new guy that's just came in. He's a super renegade. A lot of people. We're talking about folks who have been licensed for 20, 30 plus years, some less than that, but people who even have been licensed, some who have did the proper due diligence to go to school, pass the test, pay their money, finish their provisionals, all these things. This guy is literally either he's revoking for people to get renewed or he's revoking for people to get licensed. And these and or quote unquote violations that they may have had on their record, we talking about some are well over 10 years, some are well over 20 years. We have probably about 3 that I know of licensees who have been licensed again well over 20, 30 some years. This gentleman has now revoked them from renewing their licenses for things that have been, again, 20, 30 some years ago. So all of the funeral directors a lot of the funeral
That's
directors.
statute of limitations.
I don't know, but a lot of the funeral directors and owners and things like that, they're getting together. We're getting together on Wednesday, and we're actually driving down to Austin on Wednesday. In joint unification to try to get him out of the office because it's a lot of people.
Who puts your commissioner
this is
in office?
affecting.
Like here in Maryland, our governor puts the people at state board in office.
And so that definitely very well may be. Our governor here, of course, is a Republican, and not to just put it out there in that rhetoric because it's not a racist thing. It's not that he's a racist because that's not the case. The thing is he's just a renegade. He's been, excuse my French, he's been an asshole, and it's just that like it's starting to affect a lot of the firms in the state of Texas right now. And so you're talking about people who are FDICs and owners who right now they can't even renew their license, literally.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
man.
yeah.
So great point. Disclaimer at the bottom: the views of this podcast are those of individuals only. So not of any of our firms, anybody we represent. These are just our views. 6 people sitting here goofing off, talking about some stuff, and hopefully get some information. And what are you doing, Tiffany?
I'm following the ticker.
Follow the disclaimer. Okay.
I get a light.
All right.
Hey, Mike, can you put up what Captain Small said?
Yeah, I'm about to put it up. So Jonathan, he said he was trying to go live with us. And then so Kathy Small said, went to a funeral, and I remember talking about this on episode 9 about the crown. Went to a funeral. It was so emotional. She was wiped the sin off the casket, and then she went inside.
What?
Huh?
You got to explain that.
Kathy, we need to. We got to get.
She said it was very overwhelming, and then she was so slow coming up the aisle.
Oh, I guess the person that was presenting the crown.
Okay.
Yeah. And Val answered your question.
Adrian.
She said no. You. The audacity. Oh my God.
Dare you?
The audacity. all I want to say is this: you go to Austin and you're gonna be protesting and whatnot. Just make sure you take, some mace and a step stool because they got coyotes and stuff down there, and I don't want you to get, I don't want him to get wrangled up and taken away.
Well, we're not going down to protest, but we are going down to have a voice, because again, you're talking about licensees who have paved ways for even people like y'all and myself, who now can't even renew their licenses, what I'm saying, and it is no reason at all, and so. Yeah, we're all going down Wednesday.
That's unfortunate. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, in numbers, and so it's a little crazy right now. So yeah.
So we joke and laugh a lot, but that's serious, and there's power in numbers. So we all come together and do that, and then we definitely can show our unity and hopefully get something done. So we got a couple more things, and we can go right into our mother's moments and into our topic today. So we touched on this.
Right. That comment.
Last week,
right.
Jonathan said HBO mortician did not help our business. Pretty
disturbing. I really believe that particular situation has triggered a lot of these state boards now.
Mm-hmm.
That is a trigger, and that's going to go on across the board. So keep your eyes open.
So all of our viewers and listeners who haven't seen it, it's on HBO. It's a series called The Mortician. It's very disturbing. We said, to me, I said it's disgusting. I detested it. It's ridiculous. We do not condone any of that behavior, and that's one small percentage of what we do. Yeah. Most funeral homes and funeral directors are not like that. That's like that small 0.1%. I don't even want to talk about it, honestly, because it gets upset because the way we talked about how many bodies he cremated in one retort at one time, and it was just terrible. But that's crazy. I agree with you, Jonathan. I think we all agree with you on that one.
No, absolutely. Right. And that's crazy too, bro, because after y'all even said that last week after we talked about it, I had someone to call me that next day and was like, hey, do you think I got my mama ashes?
Right.
Right.
People are already scared and leery of the process, and then that doesn't help our cause at all.
I was like, baby, I pray you do. And that's the only answer I can give you. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I see the background. I know it's coming.
Anybody know what's coming next? Guess what time it is?
That Nick.
Let me see. What kind of music we're going to play today?
Oh, Lord. Play a Betty Wright song.
Oh, we got hard rock moments.
Hard rock moments. It's Mother's Moments.
Come on here.
I'm gonna have to find my own theme music because that ain't fair.
You know we can't play anything. Everything is copywritten right now. You can't play
Oh my
anything.
God, girl, we got
That ain't
instrumental.
Mother's moment.
That music with that post makes me think that you just need to sit down with that chain and pull the water down. Just drench yourself.
Oh Lord. Mother,
Anyway,
what you got for us today?
I have the mother's moments and the announcements. So govern yourselves accordingly. So, can you show Miss Mary L. Smith, please? This is one of our deaf care colleagues. She's from out of Illinois, out of Chicago. And this has been, several people have shared this lady throughout the industry on social media. So we want to send our prayers to Miss Mary Smith's family, also to the Nelson family. Can you send that one? Dr. Bessie Nelson.
Dr. Bessie Nelson.
She's the mother to gospel artist Jason Nelson. Also, Jonathan Nelson is the music director at New Birth with Jamal Bryant. They're all from Baltimore. And James Nelson is their son. He has a church here as well. The name of the church here used to be called Greater Bethlehem Temple. Now it went to the Tab. I think it's called the Tab now. So they changed the name because the church was turned over from the father to the son, one of the sons. So they're a very prominent family, ministerial family. Everybody's in the ministry here in Baltimore. And then we have,
if you listen to anything gospel, you know the Nelsons. You know John Nelson, all of them.
Right. Yeah. And then we have Mr. Nigel Wright. He's the owner of Firm Mortuary Group down in Florida. There was a letter announcement that he passed as well. So we want to send all our prayers and condolences to those three families in the industry. And if anyone have lost a loved one during this past week, we want to send our prayers and condolences to you as well. Nothing particularly congratulatory. Just a little piece that I was asked to mention. Around this industry, we deal with soliciting. And one of my colleagues, I asked him, how he liked all the shows and what you think we should touch on. And he mentioned soliciting. And I wanted to bring that up with these particular cases here, because one for certain already got a phone call about someone reaching out to the family, quote unquote, trying to solicit their services. And that used to be unheard of here. I ain't calling no names and I ain't saying, but that used to be very unheard of here. The people use you, they use you. And it happened once before with a large service, actually a couple times before with the large service. And it's very unfortunate. So this is what we deal with in the industry, and it goes into our topic for tonight, recession proof and the real cost of funerals. So when somebody come to you and say that they're going to do something for free and offer their services, nothing's free because everybody can't afford everything that you would want to do out of pocket. Can we show that promo we have or that video we have?
Yep, we're gonna get right to it. But does anybody have anything to say on that?
Yeah, I'll
wait. I'll wait on that. We got a local guy here. He's a young guy.
My brother put on that interesting.
Yeah, he is licensed, so I won't take that from him. But he's a young guy, literally young guy, and has his own little place. But man, this guy has been a soliciting fool. He'll hear about somebody passing. He's calling families, how he's getting these people numbers. I guess he just the Google master or something because he's calling people. He's put. I've even heard about a couple of weeks ago he pulled up to somebody's house, and was like, hey, heard about such and such. Want to offer my services if you need them. And he's thinking that how he says it frees him, and not understanding that, dude, you're still soliciting. I don't give a goddamn how you present your words. You're still soliciting, and it's going to catch up with him. And so, yeah.
So you're an ambulance chaser. You're an ambulance chaser.
It's big. It's big out here, sadly to say, and it's been like that for a while. It's nothing new out here at all.
Yeah, it's nothing new here in Philly either. But now they're just shameless.
Yeah, very shameless.
That's a good way to put it. Shameless.
Yeah, for sure.
Shameless. I'm a firm believer, and I think I've always been a firm believer that, you know, in this business you either have favor or you don't. And
say it again, Pastor. Preach.
You either have favor or you don't.
Come on, elevation of your voice.
If you go out here and you do things the wrong way and you do things negatively, you're gonna reap that. You're gonna reap that.
Right.
You're gonna reap that. Right. Like I've had people call the family and say, "Oh, well, you know, I can do it much cheaper. What you go on and get over here?" And let me tell you something. When they call me, that's fine. I'm like, that's fine. Y'all come on and get them. This is how much it is for services that we've done thus far. By all means, you go for it. We had a case this week that was somebody came in who was not even part of the decision factor and was like, the family wants to use you all. And I'm like, well, why didn't they use us before they went there? So at this point, I don't want no. I mean, if you were going to use me, that's fine. If not, but the whole soliciting piece, you don't get anywhere with that because you're already starting off on a shaky foundation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that can be something that, you know, if we have to revisit that and help people understand why that may not always be your best option.
I think we got time for that tonight. So we're gonna get right into it. So y'all ready for the night?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
make it happen, man.
We ready. We ready.
Oh,
and it's popping.
It's on and popping.
Somebody said popcorn.
All right, you ready for your funeral? Yeah, let's get it over with. All right, now this is serious. I want you to be serious now. I got you. Here lies the body of someone special. Wait. Why I look like that? You look nice. I look like I'm about to jump out the casket, but go ahead. We are all dealing with I'm so sorry. That caught me off guard. Go ahead. We will now have the viewing of the body. Somebody hold up.
All right. My baby.
So the reason that I chose that, first of all, they're both hilarious. Shout out to Manny and I'm Dimpy. Like their videos are hilarious. If you ever seen videos of like animals or stuff like that with the eyes, they got like people eyes on it and stuff like that. That's I'm Dimpy. All his videos are hilarious. But did you see that body in that
person that wants to be a tree?
Did you see?
Right.
Dreamy. Did you see that body in the casket? Did you see him in the casket?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something.
He ain't look like himself.
Every discount. Everybody that says they can do it cheaper.
He ain't look like himself. I don't know what's wrong with him. He ain't look like himself.
Man, listen, that's crazy. Let's get into this thing because it's gonna be nice. Let's roll.
All right, we got 35 minutes. Let's go.
Go ahead. Listen.
All right.
So as we get into today's topic, you know, we're talking about recession proof. Let me tell you something. The next person that comes to me and says, "Well, you know, y'all business is recession proof," right here. I'm gonna get them right here.
All right, Bertie Mac.
Right here in the throat. In the throat. With the
Disclaimer.
Oh yeah, word of the disclaimer. Hey, Bernie Mac always say when they get 6 months old, you can do the neck and the throat.
In the throat. This is not a recession-proof business. First of all, no business is recession-proof. And funeral homes are a business just like any other business. Let's start there. We have bills just like everybody else. We have vendors just like everybody else. When you go to your restaurant, you don't pay them $50 on the $100 bill.
No, Lord.
And expect that they're going to give you your food and say, well, come back later and we'll give you the rest of it.
You don't pay the corner at a restaurant.
We just paid our seafood vendor bill today, Lord. Jeez.
Listen, it's a business. It's a business.
And I wish that we could help people to understand that it is just that. While we deal with two sides of this business, compassion and empathy, dealing with families, we're empathizing. We're compassionate. We understand the grief that you're going through, because if you guys want to go back to episode 3, you'll get to see our sides of how we've been on your side of the table. So we definitely understand what it means to grieve and be in it, but it's a business.
You got to understand that we have accounts payable just like any other business. So if you think that your $15,000 funeral, and this is with the casket man in here,
the casket man wants their money right now.
If you think that your $15,000 funeral is going into the business's bank account to just spend willy-nilly, then we have a thing called cash advances. We have to pay for the casket. We have to pay the florist, funeral home to do it. We have to pay the person who made your obituaries. For the funeral homes that do it, we have to put the check out for your minister and for the musicians and all of that stuff that we have to advance payment for, that we're hoping to recoup on the back end. So for you to $50,000 bill, and then you come to us and say, well, we got $8,000 today.
Right.
But if you just let me get to the end of the month with my check clear, I'll bring you the other 7.
Right.
No. Listen. Let me tag you real quick, bro. We dealt with a situation this past week. Family came in with like 4 different policies.
We're gonna come back.
500, 400, 600. Man, you know how much headache that is to try to process and do a claim on all them little old small policies like that, and then have to wait on that. You have to, at that point, that's when we have to go and call these express funding companies that we deal with to try to get our money, because who's waiting on $500 policy, $600 policy, a $300 policy? Y'all have to understand.
Can I respectfully do a breakdown?
Break it down.
Go ahead.
So, hold on one second, Charmaine. Let's address this one, then we're gonna do this breakdown. So Miss Gwen said every discount is not a good one, especially when it comes to your loved ones. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Treat the funeral home with respect and dignity. I want to read it again, but it sounds like she got the 12 P's in there. All you know about them 12 P's.
Miss Gwen is the volunteer. She is the workingest woman in Farmville, Virginia that I ever know. She is the best at everything she does. I just want to give a public shout out to her, because she was in the funeral business for a little bit, but I'm gonna leave that right there and there. I just love you, Miss Gwen. I thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Miss Gwen. Thank you, Byron. All right, you're gonna get to Charmaine. Charmaine gonna break it down to us.
Break it down for
give us a breakdown.
Let's talk about a general price list here. When you walk into a funeral home, you must get one. Some funeral homes in some areas allow packaging. Fine. Some places it's itemized. There you go, Tiffany. Some places they're itemized. So let's break the basics down on this general price list. Your top one, basic service of funeral director and staff. That's like administrative stuff. some funeral homes on an average of, we ain't gonna talk about the South. Some funeral homes on an average of $1,850. Some corporate funeral homes that can start at, I know in my area, the corporate funeral home, that piece start at $5,200 in itself, but just for that. So let's say let's give an average of $2,700. On an average, it takes our office at least an hour or 2 hours per day per policy, because sometimes we're on hold for an hour for them to tell us to call back in 3 days so they can give us information on the phone. So
if they're gonna give it to you.
Hold on. Hey, when you have said apprentice that works for you and think they supposed to get $25 an hour, there go your $400 in 3 days for this apprentice to sit on the phone to even verify your insurance. Number one.
I wish I had a wig with a bang.
But so what you making out this $2,700? Nothing, right? Back in the day when you used to pay per long distance call, it was like 20-something cents a minute for a long distance call. So now you got 800 numbers. The long distance calls are free, but you still got to pay somebody at that desk $25 an hour to sit on the phone for a whole hour, sometimes 2 hours per policy. So let's break that down to the funeral home, maybe averaging $1,500 off of that $2,700. Embalming. Some funeral homes don't do their own embalming. So if a funeral home charges you $900 for that embalming, boom.
Half of it's going to the trade guy.
A trade embalmer. Sometimes that trade embalmer can charge that funeral home $400 for a straight case. If it's autopsy, it's an additional $100 because it's autopsy. If they're obese, meaning over 300 pounds, it can be an additional $100. So that's $600 that you have from that 900. So 9 minus 6 is 3. Boom, $300. Then you have what they call dressing and casketing and cosmetizing. Let's just say on the average $450. If you calling the guy because your firm owner is too old or your embalmer is too old to dress and casket, I've seen some young folks in the South have a price list of their services of dressing and cosmetizing. Some of them charge $125 for that. That's just one body, not a whole day. One body to put some clothes on and put them in the casket. So out of that $450, you only making $325. Boom. Those are your top 3 non-declinables. Right there, the funeral home, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. The funeral home only making $2,100 off the non-declinables. Now let's break the $2,100 down. There's a system called Irvin, Robert, and Sam. The I, R, and the S. They take your stuff. And you got to pay the taxes for that employee.
Break it down, girl.
So the funeral home averagely get nothing. Now let's be very transparent. When it comes to your caskets, government, the FTC say you can do up to 3.5 or 4 times the markup. You can mark your caskets up 3.5 or 4 times.
Right.
I get them confused, but better not go over 4. So just say the casket costs us $800, but it's 4 times 8, 12, 16, 24. It can be $2,400 to the consumer, but we got to pay $800. In some states, if you have certain personalized items such as embroidery, I noticed we had an embroidery tax that we had to break down from the Batesville's price list.
Hey, Gina.
So
what up, Gina?
All that money is going out the door. When those casket companies drop those caskets, majority of them want their checks at the door. Cash and carry. Not 30 days, because if you having 10 funerals in 30 days, who want to spend $1 million in a month on some caskets? So most of your companies expect you to drop your check when they drop that casket. So we're fronting a whole lot before we even get your money in. Those processing fees that Adrian spoke about from the express companies, they charge 4%, 5%, and 6%. But that's their fees. That's the funeral home don't get that. Then if you have people doing a viewing, some people charge $5.95 for a viewing. Some people pay their folks $100 a person to sit on a 2 to 3 hour viewing. The funeral home ain't making nothing. We still got to pay gas and electric.
Right.
We still got to pay somebody to sit at the desk and answer the phone. oh, this is my father's show, because then he gonna fuss with me about raising these prices. However, the point is, we got stuff to pay out, and the funeral home is not making your complete $15,000.
Because we're a business.
And we have to deal with Irvin, Robert, and Sam.
And they take a lot. And depending on where you are, not only do you have Irvin, Robert, and Sam.
Did we just have a mother's moment?
Yes, we did.
You got your city local taxes that you have to pay.
Right.
In addition to the federal. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And they want their money.
I tell people, I said, the stress as an owner is broken down into two main categories.
That's next week.
Taxes. Yes, it is next week. Taxes and vendors. Taxes and vendors. I can meet with 20 families. I can pull off 20 beautiful services. But in the end, my main thought is how I'm going to pay these taxes, how I'm going to pay these vendors. How many caskets are they going to let me get until I need to make a credit card payment before they will drop it in off. Like we are really, the funeral home operates so much on a give and take. It's not like it was. And sometimes especially I can speak on behalf of a family business, because our older generations did a lot of bartering. That was a gift. It was a gift in us, because the families still expect that level of, well, I know y'all can you help me out just a little bit? And I'm just like, yeah, I can help you out just a little bit, but
you need to help yourself out by cutting the pattern according to the cloth. You ain't got it, don't spend it.
Pay by your means, God dog it. Pay by your means.
But see, the other thing is, and I know everybody is south of the Mason-Dixon and attest to this, is a lot of Black families still don't believe in cremation.
Right. Or if they do it, they
cremation.
still need to be seen first before they cremate.
Yes.
We got to see the body. We got to see the body.
Cremations.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to get, I want to bury him right, as if cremation is wrong.
Right. We in the corporate sector here, they struggle a lot with direct cremation. And when you have, and I'll say it this way, there's a white family firm in the Hartford County area. They're the only ones that haven't sold to corporate. But when you go into a corporate funeral home, that top number, the basic service of funeral director and staff, when I tell you that starts at $5,200, so your direct cremation is technically starting at that $5,200 as well.
Jeez.
Plus,
and here it is, you have some, and I hate to make this a race thing, but it's two different sides of the market. You have some folks that are undercutting themselves, where they're having whole funerals, going to church with a limousine and a metal casket, sometimes including the cemetery, for $5,500.
That's called subliminal, what they call marketing, subliminal solicitation.
That's called pole hustling.
but it's subliminal.
Because even in hustling,
so even if we don't go to,
they're not taking nothing. They're not making no money. I don't understand how they do it.
The only thing they're doing is being able to say they still open for business.
Right. Yeah. And some of them not even getting their money for that.
Some of them like giving like we're dealing with people up here now. It's like I said, it's a few people up here, whether it be big firm or small firms. Like Jonathan was saying, like people see certain things on social media. They may see certain things even on the news as it relates to death. People have to understand that the funeral industry is so saturated. It's so big. It's so large. It may be 3 funeral homes in one block. You know what I mean? And so it's so scattered. And so where people think that all the time they see our outside lives, a lot on social media, or we just doing it this and we doing it that. That's not the story for everybody. It is the death rate as it relates to the funeral industry, it has slowed up a lot. Everybody's not burying 10, 20, 30 people in a week, and then even when you see some of these firms, of course, that are saying and showing that they're doing that, please understand that maybe out of those 20 or 30, you may have had maybe 4 or 5 of those that actually probably was even over 15, 20 grand. All the rest of them might have been them $55, $6,500 services. And out of that, they might have got 35 out of it because the rest of it went to vendors.
So I do want to take a step. I do want to take a step to the left though, and say this: the misnomer is the funeral director themselves are getting paid, and
Right.
I don't know how. I don't know how else to say this.
Not.
If you have a friend that is in the funeral industry and they trust you enough that you're not going to go spread their business in the street, I would tell you to ask them, hey, what is your actual salary?
Right.
Because you will find that most private owned homes, owners and funeral directors included, are not making this huge salary that you all would think that it is. And I have people that look, hey, that's a nice truck. That's a $60,000 truck. Hey, that's bad. I haven't owned a car in over a year. That's not my car. That belongs to the funeral home.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Because I would rather save my money and put it into my household, the money that you have, than pay a car note, for going back and forth.
Don't believe that because you see the funeral directors in the high end expensive cars walking around with expensive
Red bottoms
things and things like that means that we actually have the money.
Let me say this because I had someone come to me because the local funeral director had a Maserati.
Me and my Louboutin.
This lady said that she did not want to pay. This lady said she did not want to pay for that man's car note. Number one, some people are in a financial bracket or a tax bracket where they have to purchase certain items. So the business will purchase the items or lease the items to write them off, because the more money you have and more money you make, the more money they take. So as far as Irvin, Robert, and Sam, they'll take your money. So if you buy different items that you can write off, as far as the business writing them off, then that's what's happening. It's not the individual that has the vehicle. It's the companies that have the vehicle. Some of the individuals are volunteering. A lot of these old cats are taking their Social Security. Or let's go back to when I was being raised in the funeral home. My mother worked in the school system for 30 years, as did a lot of other family-owned funeral homes in the area. They had spouses that were either educators or their spouses worked for the federal government, such as Social Security. So their spouses worked for those entities in order to have health insurance. These businesses are not able to give themselves health insurance because they don't have enough employees. So what you think a funeral home had, some of us volunteering.
So let me share this. So first, let's look at Romaine Scott's comment. He said, the look of the funeral director is not because of the director, it's because of the expectation of the public.
Absolutely.
That's so true.
And Jonathan too.
Jonathan just said it's all about optics.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about optics. We're talking about funeral home owners, general managers, if you're that big enough to have one. Well, guess what? Most of you, like family-owned funeral homes, my uncle always told me, make sure you have a backup. Learn more than one trade, right? Or more than one business or one entity. So people will look at me. I'll tell you, I share my story to a lot of folks. I've shared at our national. When I graduated from Wake Forest University with a bachelor's degree, I made $20,000 a year. Do you hear me?
Well, that was
and I own 50% of the business.
Right.
And I made $20,000 a year. Gave up football, gave up all that to come back home and make $20,000 a year. Right?
It was because of the love of what you were.
So when people say, "Oh, you making all this money," we just talked about it. The money comes in, but then it goes right back out. Right. So, but thankfully I had a great wife that had a great job and made a lot of money and supported our family.
Absolutely.
So kudos to Tina. She made the money.
Kudos to Tina.
You know what I mean?
And then we started another business. Social Security.
You need to find one. But then you have other businesses, right? So like we started our real estate business. So we got real estate going on. We got these other businesses. But I mean, seriously though, that's what it is. You are so stupid. Look at us. Charmaine and Adrian. What a flag at?
Where's the flag?
Where's the flag? Oh my Lord. There's the flag on the play. We're just gonna hold up. Flag on the play.
I'm not. So anyway, go ahead. I'm not listening to him.
So terrible.
Hey, Charmaine started it.
Yeah, she started it.
But no, what Mike is saying is true. Like people and like the comments of what is the expectation, what it is about the optics. You know, people expect us to look a certain way or be a certain way, and you feel the need to at some point keep that to help the business. Right. So you know, and let's be honest, let's be real here. If you had a choice of 3 funeral homes, that first funeral home, the building looks like who knows what. It could just not be up to par. Your funeral director looks shoddy. You know, the suit might be too big, or it might be like, you know, the one I call them the Steve Harvey suits that come way down and look, and just the optics of it. But they may have the best embalmer in town. Are you going to choose, or your other funeral home has the flash, has the cars, has the funeral director that's looking fitted nice and tight and right, and the staff
Linwood
all matching,
and their bodies look like this,
and the bodies look like that, like our promo. Be real, families. Be real, people. You're actually going to go to the one who may not give you the best service or the best looking bodies, but because the presentation of the funeral home has what you want, that's the aesthetic you go for. So as a result, those who may not have it are trying to figure out a way to make it happen to keep up when we still lose.
Oh Lord, Miss Paula, you're a bad influence. Miss Paula, you're a bad influence.
Be sharp with a touch of class. Like it's a fine line. It's a fine line that we have to juggle all the time. Yeah. Because we want everybody to be happy, but we need to not be stressed the hell out too. Yeah.
Yeah. You were talking about it. So we were talking about the insurance piece, right? So I said, you know, we were getting to a point where we were doing good. We had raised the prices a little bit, which people listen. I had somebody that fought me tooth and nail and told me that you don't have the compassion to be here. You raise these prices, people. It's hard out here. We had gotten to the point where I could offer insurance. That I was like, oh man, you know, I can get insurance, and people can have. You got to have workers' comp, but like, was it short-term disability insurance and stuff like that? $1,800 a month. $1,800 a month because my staff. That was for 5 people.
Did you gotta pay?
Well, wait. So let me clarify that. Because I only had 5 employees, it was only 2 of us on the insurance.
Yeah.
1,800.
Yeah. And that 1,800 is coming off of your professional services.
Off of all of that.
Off of that 27 that you only get.
That's coming off that, right? That's coming off that number.
Boom.
That you think that we're taking, that we actually are taking.
Between that, your insurance, your property taxes, your cars, your vehicles, your insurance on your car.
Does anybody want to share how much a hearse actually costs?
A new hearse today?
$15,000 minimum.
$125.
Yeah, it's too much money.
I bought new hearses, $125. I bought new hearses and limos in 19. They were like 90 a piece. I bought more in 23. They were like what did I pay? I think about 110, 120 for them. Now they're like 125 to 155.
Ours was 110 back in 19 and 20.
That's why a lot of funeral homes now are just leasing them.
Well, we
That is a lease.
Or like we do here in Philly, there are
That is a lease.
there are companies here in Philly that is all they do is livery.
Mm-hmm.
They own the hearses, they own the limousines, and we as the funeral home contract out with them to get the cars. So it's no liability on us. It's all on the companies who are owning them. But the families don't know that. You know, the families think that these are your cars, but they're not.
So when Mike spoke about having different entities within your business, our cars are a separate entity for us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in this area do not have their own cars. Yeah. I saw your message, Miss Caller. A lot of people in our area do not have their own cars. So we have a company called Wilbur Chris that no, she texts me on my phone. We have our limousine called Wilbur Chris, and other funeral homes will rent our limousines and our hearses. Also, our funeral home will rent our limousines and hearses. So it's always been a thing where don't put all your eggs in one basket. If something happened to the funeral home insurance, you don't lose your cars. But that is also a way of getting income to pay for the cars. Because when we first got them cars, each car was between $1,500 and $1,600 a month per car just for the car.
That bill,
again,
that's another bill that's going to keep coming. Whether the limo is going out or not, you still got to pay that limo.
Still got to pay that note. You still got to pay that insurance.
That's how it is even with me.
Cars out to other funeral homes, so that's a piece of income for us. This new facility that we have is a chapel, and it's a repast hall. William Brown Funeral Home writes a check to Brown's Chapel every time we have a service in there because we were using a church here to have our big services in that people didn't really want to go to a church, but they needed an extra room for the chapel of the funeral home. So we were paying a church a couple years ago $400 every time we walk through the door. Yeah. So why not pay ourselves $400 every time we got to walk through the door?
So Charmaine,
you could have said all that without mentioning the name, though. You could have said that without saying the name.
We had to separate them because people think that this new facility is the funeral home, and it's not.
Hell no, Mike. You need to send Charmaine as a bill.
Mike has a repass hall.
Yeah, but he didn't mention the name of it. He didn't say the name of it.
Yeah, ours is separate. Everybody calls it the same thing. Same thing is there. But Charmaine, we did the same thing with our crematory. So we have on-site cremation with our crematory. So your loved one never leaves our care. But the name of the crematory is Commonwealth Crematory. Mm-hmm. So if we ever decide to cremate for other funeral homes, other firms, right now we do our own. Then that way I won't be, Hamlar Funeral Home, Hamlar Curtis Funeral Home, or Hamlar Crematory on that other funeral because they have to get those authorization papers signed.
That's right. I know who buying lunch or dinner when we got in 2 weeks. I know who Mike and Charmaine.
Food stamps, I might have a chance of getting it.
Is that what?
If they take food stamps, I might have a chance to treat.
we got about 5 more minutes.
But if you ever know a business, like if you see a business get sued or they get caught up in court and they survive it, it's because of LLCs and it's because of how they're structured that they don't lose their main business. They're able to shut down and restructure so fast. And I really wish that this was actually taught more to business owners because I'm in the process now of, okay, how can I shift I have to wait until my hearse is off a lease. How can I shift these vehicles into a LLC? How can I do the repass? How can I move to other locations and have these halls to be able to serve, more families and actually make a revenue stream? But people weren't looking at funeral home as a revenue stream for real.
Right.
It was just the community. Hey, we got a service to do. But business,
you don't go to Walmart and drop the price after they drop the price.
Right.
Why
That's the crazy thing, man.
I say that all the time.
If you want to negotiate, make your own separate phone calls before you come in a funeral home and sit at their table. This is my opinion. one more person come sit at my desk with another person's price list and have the nerve to call them back while I'm sitting in their face.
A quote sheet while you in the arrangement office with them.
I don't have no problem with you calling them, but go outside and call them.
Yeah.
Don't sit in front of a funeral director and try to negotiate somebody else's prices. That's their prices, and these are mine. We know what our bills are. And they know what your bills are.
You know there are some
Say it one more time
out there.
Say it. Go ahead, Mike.
Charmaine, you know there are funeral directors out there that you bring somebody brings you their quote, right, or their worksheet. I'll do it for 200 less than what they're doing it for. I'll do it for 500 less. Actually, you know what? I can do it for this, and then you just bring me some more bodies this way.
Wait, put Jonathan's comment up.
What Jonathan say?
Time to start whipping ass. Exactly.
Jonathan is crazy. What's going on up in Philly?
We got a firm up here. One of their sale pitches.
You at the bottom of the country.
For years have been, we will meet or beat any competitor's price. That's been their sales pitch for years.
For a funeral?
For years. We will meet or beat any competitor's price.
That's a car salesman. Yeah. That's a car salesman.
Look, I tell people all the time, you get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
Right? Hey, that's been a thing for years, man.
I had this young man do some photos for us. I just posted a few of them. He is amazing. But you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right? You get what you pay for. You want $100 job, you're gonna get $100 worth of pictures. If you want
something nice, brother.
I can give you pictures on my phone.
That's all me, bro. That's all me. No hashtag, no filter.
But like my brother Mike was saying though, and I think a lot of us actually, we have our thing, you just genuinely have to be a hustler. You know what I mean? You generally have to be a hustler. You have to literally know how to not only invite, but you also have to know how to create your own other options and outcomes of income to just make it do what it do. Yeah, we may wear nice clothes, we may drive nice and decent cars, but please understand, it's not just coming from one entity. You know what I mean? There are several entities that we have put up under our own one umbrella.
I always say, what's meant for you will be for you.
Listen,
absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you. The pastor just told me the other day, and this will be my last thought. We're gonna go around, everybody do their final thought.
I'm glad you talk more tonight, so come on, give me all of it.
Man, I just sit back and listen. As a man of faith, my household, we're Christians, we're people of faith. And the pastor Twine, he sat down and said, Mike, I just got a call and tell you that God told me to tell you what's for you is meant for you. And no matter what these other folks out here doing, just keep doing what you're doing, and what God has for you is for you. And I can tell you, God has blessed me tremendously and my family tremendously. And I'm so thankful because we have served so many families in this capacity and then also been able to help so many others in other capacities. So that's my final thought. We go around. Anybody got anything else? We got about 60 seconds left. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Who's next?
We're not getting your money. Next.
Hey,
your money.
I'll go back to what I said before, and I'm talking to all these businesses out here. If you do it on a shaky foundation, it's going to be a shaky business.
Yeah.
It won't last. It'll be all right.
Yeah. In the words of Jonathan, janky.
All right.
All right, Tiffany, Adrian, what y'all got before we get out of here?
Ladies first.
Okay. Well, for me, I will say you get what you pay for. Don't think that because we're charging this to you, it's because we're trying to hold on to it all. We have bills that have to be paid. We got people that are looking in my face waiting for their paycheck. They want their paycheck. I got to make sure they get paid so that they're going to keep coming back to work. So please give us the respect. I think somebody had mentioned it. Respect us. We want to help you. We do want to help you. But at the same time, we do need to make the money that we have to make at bare minimum, because there are things that we got to do. We can't get around it.
That's it. Hey, next week, To Death Do Us Part, the podcast, Stressed to Death, the life of the Undertaker. Yeah. Do I order flowers? The casket is chipped. Will I make the little league game? They don't have the money. What do you do? They're trying to fight over this. Who gets the flag? I need a vacation. All kind of things we're going to talk about next week, so you don't want to miss it.
Yes.
Hey,
we ain't talking about them
same time next week.
425s per tire.
That's why we wait. That's why we wait
morning,
2 weeks.
Did I order? Yeah, all right.
Listen, y'all.
All this great hair came for a reason.
Make sure you reap what you sow. So you reap a good harvest. Sow a good harvest, you reap a good harvest. And so at the end of the day, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all share.
Thank you,
everybody.
All
so much.
Thank you.
We love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Appreciate y'all.
See y'all next week.
Peace.